Hello, my lovelies. Hello. Christelle Robinson-Tiedemann here, aka Cree of Coaching with Cree, coming to you live on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. And Instagram. Hi, Insty. I'm trying to do this double thing again. Coming to you live on this wonderful Friday evening for an impromptu heart-to-heart. I'm calling this Cree's Random Reflections because I have some reflections to share with you. And this is pretty random. So I'm not sure exactly what this is, but say hi and let me know if you're here to hang out with me. So a little bit about me. I am a life coach. I am a human design reader, and I am the host of the Love and Meaning podcast. And I am a personal development, inner work, all things personal evolution through radical self-responsibility, through high faith, through self-compassion and compassion for all, and through self-discovery. That is what I'm all about, and I'm here for a little heart-to-heart with you all about something really cool that came up. Say hi as you come in. Hi! Thank you for hanging out on this Friday. Oh my gosh, what time is it for you? It must be late, right? You're in the UK. Say hi as you come in. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this Friday evening or Friday night or wherever you are in the world. Maybe it's morning. I don't know, but I'm happy to see you. For all of those that are new, welcome. And for those returning, welcome back. So I had something really cool happen over the past week, and I just wanted to pop in. 11 p.m. You up late. That is so cool. Thank you for hanging out. So I had something cool happen that I reflected on, and I ended up sharing with a couple of people, and it really resonated. And if you saw the title, it says Put Play First. Let's have a little chat about fun. Let's talk about play, and let's talk about morning routines. How all of those go together, you're going to find out in a second, but that's what I wanted to pop in and talk about today, because it just seems like if it was impactful for me, and then it turned out to be pretty impactful for the people I shared it with, I was like, all right, this is for the collective. Let's just put it out there. So let me tell you a little story. So I have always been a morning person, okay? And if you guys see me, if you're just popping in, you see me doing this up and down eye thing, it's because I have my beautiful Insta here and I have YouTube here. So I'm hanging out with both of you trying to see if this works. So bear with me, and you can feel free to let me know if you hate it too. But say hi as you come in. So I've always been a morning person, okay? Always. And I'm one of those people who wakes up in the morning giddy. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm happy. I'm excited. I just naturally kept that kind of energy from childhood where I was like, yay, a new day, new fun. And I've also always been a person who prioritized fun, okay? Like, naturally, fun was always a huge priority to me. And I'm pretty sure that's why my best friend and I are best friends, because we just like really both had that in common, to our own detriment when we were kids. Like, as a kid, that's pretty much the opposite of what the adults around you want you to be about when you start school and stuff. But like, I've been naturally very good at fun, okay? So I'm happy to say that I've held on to that my whole life. And being a morning person, loving fun and stuff, I developed this morning routine. I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. Like, it's been a long time. And this morning routine, so since I was like a single person working my 9-to-5 job, when I lived with roommates, when I lived by myself, like, this continued the same. But like, this was when my only priority was like, I get up and my main thing was like to get up, go to work, and have a good time in my life. So I would wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. and I meditate, I journal, I work out, and I like eat my breakfast. And I do all of this in leisure and like zen. Sorry guys, I'm gonna cough, so let me drink some water. Sorry about that. I just got this tickle in my throat. And now it's in my eyeball. Ooh, I hate when that happens. Okay. I'm going to try not to have snot burst out of my nose. Ooh. It's allergy season over here. Look at my eyes getting all red in New York City. Allergies on fleek. Okay. So, where was I? So, I would work out. I would meditate, I would journal, and I would eat my breakfast in leisure, okay? And I would tell you couldn't stop me from talking about my morning routine. Like, I was literally obsessed with my morning routine. It was my favorite time of day. It's been my favorite time of day from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I usually start work around 8 a.m. This has been my entire career. I've pretty much started work around 8, but I wake up at 5. I've even woken up at 4:30 before when I was doing more intense workouts. And people think I'm absolutely insane. If you need to be at work at 8, what the heck are you doing waking up at 5? But what I was doing was like literally having time of my life. So this morning routine, all I knew is that it felt really freaking good. So I've been doing this for years and years and years. Now, fast forward, I am, instead of a single person with my 9 to 5, I am a married person. I started a business. I have my 9 to 5. And all of a sudden, my morning started looking different. It was rushed. And it was very much a matter of like, what could I do at this time most efficiently? And what happened was about a week ago, I woke up in the morning and I had this realization, like I had this awareness come over me. And the awareness that came over me was that I woke up like this, like, ugh. Like that sound is like the best way I could describe what the morning felt like. And then I thought about it and I'm like, I don't know how many days in a row I've been waking up like this, but it's been a long time and I can't remember when I haven't. Like, I'm not a snoozer. I'm married to a professional snoozer, okay? I'm not a snoozer. And I'm like starting to snooze. I'm like, can I get 20 more minutes? Like, ugh, is it morning already? Like, this is the feeling, this is the energy of how I'm waking up. And so I just had this awareness come over me that this is what's been going on and this is how I feel right now. And I was like, this freaking sucks. Like, this sucks. And if I really think about it, the week has been dragging on. I'm drinking a lot of coffee. I'm desperately chasing energy. It feels like I can't like catch up to myself and what I need to do. And so I was like, what's happening? Because how can I all of a sudden not be a morning person? Like, am I not a morning person anymore? Like, is that what happened? Like, why am I not, feeling energetic? Like, what's going on? Because I started my business and I'm obsessed with my business and I absolutely love working on my business and I absolutely love, I love working on my business. I love everything that I'm working on, but I realized that what was happening is that I'm waking up in the morning and instead of it being like, this is Christelle's me time of feeling energetic and feeling like caring for myself and sitting with myself and getting into, that connected place with source energy. Like, instead of it being about that, I would wake up in the morning and it was like what do I need to do and how can I use the time that I have until I have to get to work, until I have to leave for work, the most efficiently? Because the thing is that I actually care so much about the things that I'm doing. I care about my business. I love my business. I'm obsessed with my business. And I actually love working on all of these things. So I'm trying to fit them into the morning and trying to fit them into the evening so that I can put as much time as I can into working on what I love. So it didn't occur to me that that could not make me feel good. And so I thought about it. Hi, hello, Alana is here. Hello, thank you for hanging out. So you guys are gonna have to catch up on what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about my morning routine, okay? And so what I realized was it wasn't so much that I don't like working on the things that I was working on for my business. The point was that time in the morning was an energetic context that I set for the day. It was like, without even realizing, because I've been doing this for like 15 years, but one of my favorite mentors, we do this class twice a year, which is at New Year's, so to start the year, and then in the middle of the year to like finish the year strong. And we talk about setting a context for your year. It's the same thing as like New Year's resolution, kind of, but with like a more of an intentional tweak. Setting a context for your year, setting a context for the half of the year. And I realized that what I was doing with my morning routine was I was setting a context for the day. I had set a context for the day, and the context was I feel good. I was kind of under the impression, like when I was meditating and I was working out and I was journaling, like I thought that I was doing the things that were for like my mental health and my inner work and my well-being, which they are. But what I also didn't realize was the fact that I enjoyed them so much. Like I loved doing them. I loved the way that it made me feel. I love the quiet and the peace of the morning, and that time alone with me gets to be about deepening my relationship with me, and I love it. And the context that it set for the day was like, I matter. My pleasure matters. My joy matters. My happiness matters. This feels good. And I would walk into my day with like, like just this feeling of like, you can't get me down, because everything else had this context, this filter on it, these glasses on it of like, I get to feel good. How I feel matters. And so even though I'm waking up in the morning and lately, and I'm working on what matters so much to me, my passion, my business, it was setting a different context. And the context was like, what can you get done? The context wasn't joy, happiness, enjoyment, feeling good. You know what I mean? The context was not about how I feel. The context was about productivity. And so I was like, OMG, this has got to stop, because it's affecting everything. It's affecting how I feel all throughout the day. And to be honest with you, like waking up in the energy of like, ugh, I just think that is the shittiest way to start the day. Like it's just such an awful feeling. And for whatever reason, I'm sure there's science behind it, I'm refusing to start off my days in that way. So I was like, okay, we got to switch shit up. So what feels good? Like what's going to feel good to you? And what happened to be the thing? So I asked myself the question, and what happened to be the thing was reading. There's this fantasy book that, for those of you who are into it, it's ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, like the super popular fantasy series. So I've gotten into it, and I've been really enjoying reading it when I have the time. And I was like, that feels really good. So I'm waking up. I was like, all right, so starting tomorrow, you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to make your coffee and you're going to read. So the very next day, I got up, brushed my teeth, I did all that. I made my coffee and I sat and I read. And within 24 hours, I kid you not, I'm not freaking exaggerating. Within 24 hours, I was going through my day like this, like on cloud nine. Like my energy lifted so much. I felt so much happier. I felt so inspired. And the thing that really like blew my socks off was the whole point of me shifting my morning routine, and without really consciously, doing that. The whole point of me doing that was to be more productive. And the whole joke was I was less productive because in my energy of like, I was chasing the day. Like I just didn't have the energy. I didn't feel all that inspired. Within 24 hours, I cannot tell you the amount of inspiration that came through me. I cannot tell you the like downloads that I had, the novel ideas that came to me. I'm like brainstorming, I'm writing like crazy. I'm working on something behind the scenes that some of you might know about already because I talked about it in my last live. But so many ideas came through for that, and like I have been more productive than ever. So we're almost a weekend from this revelation, and I'm floating on cloud nine because I feel so good. Like my energy is just better. Like even my energy with like my husband walking in the door and like greeting him, I just feel happier. Like I feel little things are making me happier. Like, and it's because of the context I set for the day, and the context gets to be like fun. I'm getting excited and hitting my papers. Hi, Christina. Celebrating my friends and connecting with my bestie this week. Whee! That's me. Hi, welcome in. So I'm talking about my morning routine for those of you that have just jumped in. The revelation that I had, the random reflection that I had that I'm sharing right now is that how you start the day freaking matters. And it's not just me, because this is what happened that confirmed it all throughout the week. Like I had this revelation, I switched shit up, right? So instead of waking up in the morning and thinking about what I have to do, I have gone back to waking up in the morning and thinking about what would make me feel good. And of late, what would make me feel good is to read. And I've been reading fantasy. I'm not reading personal development. It's like I'm reading a fantasy novel and I'm freaking obsessed. I'm already on book 2. Okay. So that's what's been making me like tantalizing me. So I've been doing it and feeling amazing and feeling inspired and feeling like the whole point of what I was trying to do with my morning came together because I was putting my energy into feeling good and setting a context of happiness, joy, fun for the day. And the results have been just this ripple effect of exponential benefit in all ways. So all throughout this week, I've had confirmation from the universe, confirmation from the universe, confirmation from the universe. And that's what was like, all right, you got to go live and you just got to talk about it and you just got to share it. So morning routines, this has been a thing for forever. I'm not the first person to mention this. Like there are plenty of, teachings out there that talk about morning routines. But what I'm saying that I mean that's a little bit different is it's not about like have a morning routine and make sure that you meditate. Like that's not the point. My point is start your day out on the note of what matters most. And what matters most is how you freaking feel. Feeling good, feeling happy, joy. That is actually the most energizing, the most fuel efficient. It is the most nourishing way to start your day. And so it turns out that apparently waking up, drinking my coffee, and reading a fantasy novel that I've been dying to read has been the best thing for my business in the past week, and my life, and my partnership, and my friendships, and my everything. So I'm talking about like energetically putting the point first, which is to feel good. So think about whatever that is for you. So here's the part where I was like, okay, I need to go live. So yesterday, and these things have been popping up all throughout the week, this confirmations, but this one really blew my mind. So yesterday, okay, so I've been doing this for almost a week now. I'm I'm just shooting the shit with a coworker at work, and he goes, "How have you been?" And so I told him this that I just shared with you guys, right? And I'm like, I can't believe how I've been dragging my feet through the week. I'm like needing a coffee in the middle of the day. I'm like low in energy. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I realized like just my mornings felt like the energy I was setting was drudgery. It was like, what can you do? It was like so, you know, serious. And it made me feel like shit. And so I've been reading a fantasy novel every morning and feeling amazing. And he was like, okay, you don't know how much I needed to hear this because I've been feeling exactly the same. He's newly in a relationship. He's newly establishing his own private practice. He's newly setting up his life in a very similar way to me. Like there's a parallel there. And he's like, it's not like I don't love doing these things. I love spending time with my girlfriend, but like all of this time, I'm like, where do I fit? So I've started waking up in the morning and being as efficient as possible. But what I used to do, and I'm embarrassed about this, and this is why I stopped doing it, is that I used to wake up in the morning and I love video games. So I would play a video game while I drink my coffee for 30 minutes, and then I would start my day. And it just made me so happy. And I was like, dude, dude, this is what are the chances this is exactly what I'm talking about? Like, this is the same thing. It's like a total parallel. That's the point. I was like, you need to go back to, you need to go back to playing the game. And he's like, I'm starting playing the game. Like, you don't, like, what, how did you just say this to me? Like, I've been trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with me. He would have never considered that. It's just simply the fact that it feels so good when he plays his video game that it would give him energy for the whole day. Further confirmation from the universe. Christina says, to-do list, feel good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think sometimes people take this and it's like, we always go too far, like if your whole life is just fun and joy, then you won't get anything done. Like, this isn't the point. The point is to not care about the things that we're doing. The point is that we do care about the things that are really important to us. But if our energy isn't in alignment with the ultimate point, which is to love your life, which is to feel good, in the words of Abraham Hicks, everything we do is because we think we're going to feel better in the having of it. Everything we want is because we think we're going to feel better in the having of it. Ultimately, the great want is to feel freaking good, is to enjoy your life, to have a good life. So, set that context. Further confirmation from the universe. I am having a 3-way chat with my sibling and my mom, and we take turns with like who's leading the conversation and sharing something like spiritual. My mom reads us an article about it's so important to play all through your life. It doesn't matter what your age is. Make sure that you play, and all this scientific research that backs up the importance of play in your life. Odd. Odd coincidence. I'm like, yeah. Like, I hadn't even looked at it from that angle. I was still looking at it from the angle of like, I just feel this drudgery in this morning. This context sucks. Play. Play is good for your health. Why do we stop prioritizing play as soon as we become an adult, right? The little kid version of me was a freaking genius. Christina, when you were earlier, I think it was before you came in, I said that one of my greatest skill sets, one of the things that I'm best at is having fun. Like, it's something that I've always been great at as a kid. And I'm pretty sure that my connection with my best friend was because we're both experts at having fun. So we have that gene, And then further confirmation from the universe is I went on this open mic, which is like a group part of this kind of like a group coaching thing. Yes, we do. Christina says we do. And I shared this with them. You get to share anything random in this open mic. So I just shared with this with them. And the amount of people whose faces, like, because I'm watching, but they're, their mic is off, but I'm watching their faces and they're like, I so needed to hear that. Confirmation all over the place. Further confirmation. Yesterday, I go on to my friend Lauren's stories. And this is Lauren of Intuitive One. You guys should check her out. She's freaking amazing. She's an astrologer. She's a I can't say that word. Astrocartography expert. She puts in her stories, it's something like the ultimate way to wake up, and it's her drinking coffee and pulling cards. And like the whole point was like, this is what feels good to her when she wakes up. Setting a context for feeling good. Hey! Okay, I'm laughing because I look down and Lauren says, hey girl, I'm here. Hi, I'm talking about you. Your story. Oh my gosh. So she's just like, that's what feels good to her. You know what I mean? Hi, Laura. I was so suppressed as a child. Laura says, I was so suppressed as a child. I didn't know how to be playful my whole life up until I started my healing journey. It's so important, right? And I think what you're touching upon is like how detrimental it is for play to be suppressed at any age, but especially as a child. Because as a child with ADHD, I can relate. I don't know what your story is, but I can relate to a certain degree in terms of like, all I wanted to do was play. All I wanted to do was have fun. And I was so good at it. And I spread joy to other people. Like, people loved being around me because of my energy and my fun, just gauge. And I felt like all the time I was constantly being told I was wrong for whatever that I was doing that was fun. It was wrong that was what I wanted. It was wrong that was my focus. And it really gives us the completely wrong message, because we grow up and we're miserable, and then we just have to figure out at an older age that the point was to have a good time. And so then we just learn it way later. Like, what is the point? What is the point? So I'm so glad that, through our healing journeys, through our inner work, that you're able to get there now, because it matters the freaking most. It matters the most. If my husband was here, like, he could tell you, I work hard. Like, I'm working a lot on my business. I'm working a lot to achieve my dreams because I love it, because I want to. But the point is not just to get shit done to get it done. That's not the point. The point is because it makes me feel fulfilled to create what I create. And while I create that, I want to live a beautiful, enjoyable, delicious life. I want to live a delicious life. And so we have to prioritize that part of us that's just like, what is going to feel the most fun right now? Because that actually is going to give me the most energy, and just do that. And the crazy thing is that it ends up being the best thing that you can do, because it fuels us in every way, shape, or form. I'm going to tell you guys how I realize how this actually ties into human design. Just remember, Mom says, just remember how good I was at playing. Yes. Just remember how good I was at playing with you, because I felt deprived at it. I had to grow up so fast. My mom, oh, Mom. Yeah. My mom, by the way, guys, was the most fun adult you've ever seen in your life. She was a school teacher, an elementary school teacher, and greatest teacher on the planet. And she's the only teacher that I've ever seen, because I would go to her school to meet her when I was done school and then go home together. And she would be outside with the kids playing soccer, running, playing tag. The same way that kids would be like, hey, do you want to play with me? They'd be like, Mrs. Robinson, can you play with us? One of the reasons that she was such a phenomenal teacher was because not only was she like disciplined, gave them structure, but she gave them fun, permission to have fun all the time. Like, oh my gosh, when I'm talking about my ADHD stuff, guys, let me make it clear that my parents were not, ones who were like, you can't have fun. They wanted me to have fun. They also just wanted me to be disciplined and have an education. But yeah, no, Mom, you're one of the most playful adults I've ever met. Shout out to Cree's mom. Yeah. So what's super cool is when I was talking to my coworker about, his video games and how he's going back to that. He's a generator. I already know everybody that I know. I end up asking them for their date, their birth date, time of birth, and location of birth. It's apparently normal. And I look up their human design. So I knew what his human design was. And he is a generator. Generators are 70%. Okay. So 70% of the population is generators. So the likeliness that I'm talking to a generator right now is high. Y'all's signature. So the theme for fulfillment, your way to fulfillment as a generator is satisfaction. I was like, you playing that video game gave you satisfaction. And all generators are fuel, like you're just full of energy. You are naturally generating energy. That's why you're called a generator. You have self-generating energy. But how you generate energy isn't just for nothing. It's by engaging in things that you love, aka through satisfaction. So I was like, when you were satisfied, you woke up, felt satisfied, you had energy to move through your day. And he was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. When I was working from home, this is him. He's like, when I was working from home before, I was like, how did I get all these things done? I used to go for a run in the middle of the day, play video games in the morning, get everything done the way that I need to do now, plus join pickleball, plus be in this other group, plus do stand-up comedy, plus he's like, I was engaged in all of these things. He's like, and I wasn't struggling. He's like, I chalked it up to the fact that, I guess when you work for yourself, you're better able to plan things. And he's like, what I realize is I was engaged in all of these things, feeling satisfied. Like I had staples in my day that gave me satisfaction. And they literally gave me energy. So it's not simply we don't have time to do things in the evening. It's that you don't even have the freaking energy to do it. You might have the same amount of time, but when you're depleted, when you're like dragging your feet, when it feels like you're just doing things that you have to do, there's no energy there because you're not engaging in something that you love. So the reason that he was able to be so productive was because he was just fueling more energy with satisfaction. It's the same thing for all of us. So I was like, wait, so is this only a generator thing then? And I'm like, no. So for all of the types, okay, for those of you who don't know anything about human design, feel free to book a reading. I would love to do that with you. The link to book a reading is in my bio on Instagram and in the show notes here. But I will tell you this. Every single type, there's 5 types. We all have a signature, which is our mode to fulfillment. Generators, satisfaction. Projectors, it's success. For reflectors, it's surprise. And for manifestors, it's peace. I realized that the same thing was happening for me. So my signature is success. And I'm like, but do I feel success from reading the book? Like that doesn't feel right. So like, does it just work for generators? But it's not that. The sense of success that I was feeling was I was successful at a morning that felt really good to me. I was successful at setting my day, setting my context for the day. That energy fueled me. So no matter what your signature is, no matter what your HD is, when we wake up in the morning, set a context that fits your signature. Do whatever it is that feels good. So you don't even need to know anything about human design, but it fits perfectly into human design too. But it doesn't matter if you don't know anything about that or what your theme is. If it feels really good to you, it's going to fuel you. It's going to fuel you. So how have you been starting your mornings? How have you been starting your mornings? Are you waking up in the morning like me? Like, ugh, you know? That is no way to start your day. And I highly recommend, because I did the experiment, so I already did it. You can trust me. I did the experiment. My productivity went up. It did not go down. I have woken up in the morning for the past week and I have done no work. I have woken up in the morning for the past week and I have done no work. I woke up and I did what felt good, and I have been so productive. It is so important for us to make play. And like, what is play? What is play? It's the fueling of joy. It's the adding lightness and discovery and fun to whatever it is that you're doing. We can make anything playful if we truly want to. I'm known for, when I clean, that I dance. That's what I do. Like, my favorite way to clean is to have a dance party. I'm making it fun without even realizing what I'm doing is making it fun. So when I'm saying put play first as the title for this, I'm saying put play first because I want you to set the context for the day, aka for your life, because your life is a series of days. Set the context right in the morning, like right when you wake up, right when we start. Why don't we set the theme for what's important, which is that you feel good about yourself, that you feel good about your life, that you feel energized into fun, into enjoyment of your life experience. Let me know what's coming up for you. I'm here, just didn't check in. Oh, hi, Val. So let's put play first. And thank you so much, Mom, for that article, because like that just brought everything together. Like this article about playing at all stages of our life. Like the timing was so perfect. The universe brought this to me from so many different angles. I knew that I had to come on here and talk about it. Like, if you're here, this message is for you. I can feel that in my heart, that if you're here with me right now, if you're watching this on the replay, this message is for you. What context are you setting for the day? It doesn't have to be fantasy novels, and it doesn't have to be video games. And you know what? It's not going to always be fantasy novels. Like, I will change whatever that is when this feels like it's not the thing anymore. But the point was that I used to think that it was about what I was doing in the morning, but it wasn't. It wasn't about what I was doing. It was about the energy of fun. And from a different angle, like we can take this from a couple of different angles, from a whole other angle. If you're a person who's into like feminine and masculine energies, for example, if that's something that resonates with you, what I realize is that I'm waking up in my feminine energy, and I'm putting feminine energy first. And this is, for those who might not know, this is not just feminine energy for women, masculine energy for men. Feminine energy is the energy of being. It's the energy of receiving. It's the energy of allowance. Like, it's the feel good energy. It's the being energy, and masculine energy is the doing energy. I think that waking up in the being energy can fuel us all. So what I didn't even realize was that my morning routine started me out in feminine energy. It started me out in receiving. It started me out in kind of like that re-up, that energized re-up. The whole point. The point is to be. The point of all of our doing is who we be, right? So let's set the context for that as soon as we wake up. So that was my random reflection that blew my freaking mind this week. Reading fantasy novels. That's what blew my mind. No, I'm kidding. But what are the things that feel good to you guys? Like, what feels good to you to wake up and do? And can you revamp it, even if you don't have a lot of time? So just realize that this wasn't about me adding more time. The time is the same. I have the same 24 hours in the day, and I have the same things to get done. But I refuse now to use the energy that I wake up in productivity. I'm using the energy that I wake up in to set the tone, for my day. Like, if you think about that, set the tone. Like, tone means the feeling of it. The context, the content doesn't really matter. So whether it's playing video games, whether it's doing a meditation, whether it's journaling, whether it's reading fantasy novels, the context, what that is, the content doesn't matter. So, like, if I said to you, I love you, those are lovely words, but what does that tone deliver to you? Right? The tone matters. It's not just about the content. So I might have said, like, I said the thing, I said the nice thing, I said I love you. But with that tone, it kills all of the energy. And the tone doesn't even have to be words, because I could say to you, I love you. And that's like, yeah, you felt that in that tone, you know? But also, I could just look at you in that loving way that I do. I can just smile at you without any words, and that sets the tone. It's the same thing that we're doing in the morning. The tone matters. So the whole point wasn't that I'm waking up and I'm doing work. The point was the tone that I set with the way that I was waking up was like, rush, rush, get it done. You're behind time. What else can you do? Go, 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 more, 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 busy, busy, busy. And that's a shitty tone for a good day and for a good life, in my opinion. So let's set a different tone. Let's put play first. Let's have fun. Let's just, nobody needs to see it. Maybe your partner, but like, what really makes you feel good in the morning, and do that. This is my recommendation to try it out, because it made such a massive difference in my life over the past week. And I hope that this is helpful and impactful for you guys. And there is a second part to this that I wanted to bring up, that is really fascinating to me. And this is about contemplation. So, as a second layer to the whole point of this message, how I got to this, how I reflected upon this, and how I got here was through thinking about my life experiences, in a way where I don't force an answer. I just sort through my feelings, my experiences, and I let my intuition, I let all of my greater silent senses put pieces together and give me answers. And that is contemplation. And this contemplation has changed my life so much in the past year, the most. I would not be sharing this without contemplation, if it wasn't for contemplation. There's really something to be said about finding our own answers through our heart, if that makes sense. So the old me, this is what I would have done. Okay. So if this was a few years back, I'd have woken up in the morning, been like, ugh. And I would have been like, what the heck is wrong with me? What is wrong with my life? Something is off. Something is going wrong. I don't know what it is. I can't figure out what's wrong with me, but something's wrong with me. Like, my life doesn't feel very good right now. I either need to like go and ask somebody, like, to talk about this problem and seek advice. I would hamper on the issue and just be like, for some reason, my life doesn't feel good anymore. I would think it's because of external circumstances. I would think it's because, okay, I'm working too much. Oh, I don't have enough hours in the day. Oh, I just don't have enough time. Like, this is where my mind would have gone before. and I would have needed to seek outside help and maybe come to the same conclusion with somebody working through it with me, maybe a coach, or maybe, a wise friend. But through contemplation, which is something that I have been practicing, I'm not going to say that I've mastered it, but it's something that I've been practicing more and more and more over the past year. How this process actually went was I woke up in the morning, I realized I did not feel good, and I asked myself, why? You have been a morning person forever. You're good at mornings. You love mornings. You love morning routines. You haven't been doing your morning routine. What's going on there? You also love what you've been working on with your business. So it's not as simple as that. And I just let it wash over me. I kind of had this inquiry with myself. I didn't even find an answer when I first asked the question. I just walked through my day and let my mind just kind of wander. And it put these pieces together on its own through intuition, through just sitting with the question, through analyzing my own brilliant life experience. And then it just came. And it was like, what are you doing in the morning? What does that feel like? Oh, well, what did your mornings used to feel like? Well, that's very different. Well, let's see if we try feeling that way again and if it changes. It changed. And that was simply by sitting with myself, reflecting, analyzing, gently, softly, non-judgmentally, and letting my own inner wisdom give me answers. This is the art of contemplation. And it's because of the art of contemplation that I am in the process of starting this membership. And the membership is called the Collective Perspective. It's not launched yet. It's in its launching process and it's going to be out soon in November. But this is the premise of this group. It's that we are going to learn, we are going to practice, we are going to share with each other this beautiful art of contemplation. We are going to start to see and extract our own inner wisdom and find the best answers for ourselves. Because honestly, the other thing that I love about this is that the actual process feels so good. I don't know about you, but it just feels so much more impactful to me when my own wisdom guides me. Like, I actually found it way more fun to come to this conclusion the way that I did rather than someone else was just like, had to give me the answer. I loved looking through what I've been through, what I've done, and thinking to myself, this isn't a huge problem, but maybe a slight perspective shift could change everything. And it did. And the collective perspective is literally about contemplating and widening perspective. So if anybody is interested in finding out more details and jumping in ahead of time into the group that is in the process of launching, go ahead and DM me. You can email me at coachingwithcree@gmail.com if you wanted more information. And I'm thinking that I might do, if anyone wants to get in early bird, I thinking I might do a special early bird pricing. The standard pricing that we're going to start at is $33 a month. So either way, this is a low cost investment, huge return. I've seen what contemplation has done for me. I've seen what widening my perspective has done for me. And like doing this together, like having this conversation, sharing it with you, like even me contemplating. And then I talked to my mom and my mom was like, oh my gosh, I have this article in play. I'm talking to my coworker and he's like, oh my gosh, but I used to this, that. What a freaking awesome, cool, impactful, and profound way for us to change our lives through brilliant conversation and just through gentle reflection. There's no having to be wrong. There's no beating yourself up. And at the end of the day, it was like a tiny little shift that I had to make. And I was able to get there extracting my own lived experience through. So if you guys are interested in that, please hit me up. But more information is going to be coming soon. But I had to share that because it really just, it became really clear to me like how many things that I'm able to just kind of come to an understanding of on my own simply because I've learned to contemplate. I've learned to sit with my thoughts in this gentle way and to let my own wisdom come through. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this. How are you putting play first in your life? Have you put play first? Have you been playing? Are you prioritizing it? Are you like Laura, where you, on your healing journey, are now making sure to be playing? What does your morning routine look like? Are you having a good time? Are you, and if you do have a morning routine, if you're a person who does have a morning routine and it's like, I have to, they say I have to work out. They say I have to meditate. Like, do you want to? Do you want to meditate in the morning? Do you want to work out? Do you want to journal? Like, those are things that I love, but what feels good to you? Because I have a feeling that if you are in the context of fun and joy and experiencing your life to be the beautiful gift that it is, how good it is, you're going to be far more connected to what actually matters to you all throughout your day. And our days create a life. Off to church. Didn't know this was happening until today. Yeah, me neither, really. But thank you for joining in. That's it. You were here for pretty much most of it anyways. So that is Cree's random reflection. Thank you guys for joining in with me, jumping in with me, and hanging out with me. I really missed you guys. So I guess even though my Friday night live dives, which is a weekly live that I do on YouTube, are on pause right now between seasons, I really wanted to share this really cool reflection that came up to me. Laura says, yes, I am figuring this out right now, actually. Well, you stumble upon the right live. This is the perfect timing. I am sending a message through Source. Source definitely wanted to confirm for you how important this is and how amazing it is that you're prioritizing this. So thank you. I'm really touched to be that messenger through Source to you, because that's all that this was. The timing and the synchronicity of that is so perfect. You are on the right path. That's what this means. Like, you are perfectly on the right path. So what feels good to you guys? Just try that. And if you want to borrow mine. Reading fantasy novels. Whatever feels good to you. You want to borrow my friend Greg's? Play some video games. Whatever dance around. Like, do whatever feels good. But try to set that context for the day and just see what it changes. And feel free to come back and let me know whatever that change is. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was wonderful to meet you, Laura. Welcome to all those who are new. Thank you for my regulars for hanging out and for jumping in for this impromptu live. I really appreciate it. And I wish you the most wonderful weekend. Mwah! I'll talk to you later. Bye.